Well, we active in a lot of parts in Africa. In South Africa, we have a base. We have a base on the east coast of Africa and the west coast, in the northern part of Africa. So we have quite a big presence. We have over 1,000 employees, 1,500 employees, in fact, scattered all over the continent.
And in terms of the work that you're carrying out, actually, let's talk about the projects that you're involved in now.
Well, if you look at GE as an organization, we provide technologies, products, and services. We engage in sectors that are relevant to the African situation. We have products and solutions in the energy side. We have products in the water side. We are in, as we've mentioned, there's Angola, and in the oil and gas side. We also are involved in transportation, in manufacturing locomotives, as well as in providing healthcare. So we have a big spectrum of services that we believe that when they're properly packaged, can make a difference to the development of the continent.
Yeah. One of the themes around this conference has been infrastructure and Africa's gap in terms of infrastructure. I mean, we've all seen the challenges that Tanzania is currently grappling with. Where do you see opportunity for GE in terms of infrastructure development in Africa?
You know, it all boils down to the discussion around partnership. We do believe that we need to be able to strike a balance between commercial benefits as well as developmental benefits. That's why it's important for us to form partnership with governments. We form partnership with other companies that are of like mind. We form partnership with NGOs to be able to find solutions that will talk to the situation of the continent.
Now, of course, the primary business of a business is to earn a return on investment. Now, in terms of the pace of growth of those returns on investment in Africa, for GE in particular, how has that been over the past, and how do you see that going forward?
Well, we have, I think in the last 3 years, we've grown the business threefold. And we're not satisfied. We do believe that there are opportunities in the continent to grow it further. And Africa is the fastest growing region for us. And hence, that's why we want to provide resources to be able to grow it further. And I said initially, you know, we're talking about commercial benefit as well as developmental benefit. You know, because we need to be responsible as businesses, that whatever we do should make a difference to local communities, to the poorest of the poor. And so the balance between the two is very important for us.
Are you able to give us some numbers in terms of where revenues are lying now for this Southern African region?
If you look at Africa as a continent, last year we turned over about $3.5 billion. We're working out on the figures for this year, and we're planning to grow that further. You know, as I've said, we've grown it threefold, so in the last 3 years, so we should be growing further.
Yeah.
Because there are opportunities out there.
Sure. When one talks about Africa, the word risk is always mentioned, because we do know that there are risks to investing in Africa. And because probably you invest over such large geographies, the risk is multiplied fourfold. But how much more do you have to price in risk compared to, say, other regions of the world? How much more does it cost to price your projects in Africa versus other parts?
Well, when you look at what we provide holistic solutions. And risk is part of any business model. But we don't put in additional risk in terms of Africa. And that is why for us it's important that we have resources on the ground. We engage with all stakeholders to make sure that, you know, there is a shared risk, you know, between ourselves and governments, ourselves and our partners, whether it's engineering companies that we utilize. So we do share risk. We don't put unnecessary risk on Africa because of what it is. Yeah. We use a common model basically all over, and hence, you know, the engagement we have and the discussions we have. If we don't believe in an area, we wouldn't necessarily do business in it. You know, so the fact that we want to do business in Africa means that we're comfortable with doing business in Africa, especially with countries that really wants to develop, and they are open to new ideas and prospects of growing their economies. We will be engaging those countries.